and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call, please.
Mayor Harris.
Here.
Vice Mayor Dixon.
Here.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Here.
Councilmember Newman.
Here.
Councilmember Webb.
Here.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming to the monthly meeting of the Loudon City Council. My name is Mayor Jeff Harris, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting tonight. Tennessee law gives every Tennessean the right to attend City Council meetings and observe how their government is doing business. We appreciate that each one of you have taken time out of your own personal schedule to be here tonight and see how your city operates. It's my intention as your chair that we create a space where everyone feels seen, heard, respected, and valued. You should have a copy of tonight's agenda. If you don't have a copy of the agenda, you can pick one up on the table at the back of the room. This agenda is your guide to the topics we're going to be discussing tonight. In order to conduct efficient business-like meetings, the council has adopted some specific rules to follow. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, ensure that all points of interest are heard and considered, and to provide for common courtesy. In a few minutes, we'll come to a place on the agenda entitled Citizens Input, where anyone who has signed in is encouraged to speak to council. We do ask that you wait until you've been recognized before you speak. After being recognized, please approach the podium and address the council and follow 3 simple rules. At the beginning of the presentation, please state your name for the records, address all your questions to the chairman, and avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or any other inappropriate conduct. Once the citizens' input portion of the meeting is concluded, the council will proceed with the remainder of the agenda. You're welcome to stay and observe the meeting, but be advised that any additional public comments will be limited to 3 minutes each and at the discretion of council. We ask everyone remember we're doing the people's business here tonight. It's a very important responsibility to all of us. You can help us do this business by observing the rules we've established for our meetings. Again, we'll welcome you to the Loudon City Council meeting. We're glad that you're here tonight. That being said, we're going to recognize some employee work anniversaries. 2 gentlemen that came on the same day, and that is Mike Brubaker, 25 years, and Anthony Garner, 25 years. So if y'all can meet me right up front, I've got a presentation for you. First one is for President Anthony Garner, Fire Department, in appreciation of 25 years of service to the city of Loudon. Thank you, Anthony. Also, this was presented to Mike Brubaker, Public Safety Department, in appreciation of 25 years of service to the city of Loudon. You got it? Okay, thank you all very much. Appreciate you. All right, next item on our agenda is to adopt our agenda as sent out. You've had a copy of it. You had one emailed to you, so we have a motion to adopt our agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, our agenda is adopted as printed. Next item on the agenda is citizens input. First one on the list is Mitch Miller. Mitch, come tell us what's on your mind.
Thank you, Council. Mitch Miller, 310 Mason Lane. I'm here to speak point K1 is a resolution for the Whitener Group to exercise a purchase option for the Lyric Theater. And no offense to the Whitener Group, they haven't done anything wrong, and I think they happened to do a really good deal. I think that, you know, if I was in their shoes, I would do exactly what they want to do, which is buy it at the rate that's in their current lease as a option to buy. the thing that I have is not a problem with them at all. It's because I understand they're business people and that's what we would do. It's what I would do if I was able to assume a lease that had that kind of purchase option in it. The mistake I think occurred when the original lease was written, that a purchase option to sell public property without any consideration for what the current market value when that option is exercised at a discounted rate below market. And dealing with public property sales, I mean, I consider the Lyric Theater an asset of the city of Loudon and is currently owned by the taxpayers. And I've been to tax sales, I've bought property at tax sales, and when you do an option or you do some kind of whatever, even on our agenda tonight, you've got things that are going to become surplus. So if the city wants to divest property or an asset, there has to be a process, and I'm not sure that what I see or what I've heard in this lease or this option to buy is a good way to do that, because it's undervalued what they have the opportunity to buy that. And again, I don't fault them at all. It's something that happened, was extended. For the life of me, I don't understand why it wasn't closed in the first 60-day window that they had already. And I'm just expressing my disapproval of the process, the original offer, and what I consider a mistake in the original lease.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mitch. All right, Gordon, Mr. Gordon Whiten.
I really don't have much to say. I certainly appreciate Mitch's position. Other than to say when this whole thing came about, we were really asked to step in and help out an unpleasant situation for the city, which we were glad to do. And we, at the time, in all fairness, you can go back and look, I didn't believe the building was worth that price at the time. Still don't believe it was at the time. Of course, conditions have changed. Our position is that, we entered into a contract with the city. It doesn't say if we say we're going to buy it and we decide to move a date, that it voids that, and that's our position. We do intend on buying the building. We just feel like per the contract, we can do it on our time frame, and that's where we are. So we appreciate your considerations.
Thank you, Gordon. I'd have to concur with you, and that's what gets lost sometimes, is I was involved in that at the original, and the building was not in good shape at all when all that came about. So it was in deplorable condition at that time. So, okay, Miss Susie, do you have anything?
I will not add to what Gordon said
Okay,
at this time.
all
Thank
right.
you, though.
Thank y'all for being here.
Mayor Harris?
Yes.
May I just ask
Yes.
if the Whitener Company has a proposed closing date?
Yes, that has not been presented to us as far as any kind of date.
Didn't do any stand up here.
No, I didn't know if you did or not.
And we did, and I did tell Eli to call you and ask you, and I'm guessing y'all didn't touch base on a window, but happy to do that immediately.
Okay.
I mean, give you a date immediately, so.
Because we don't have that in the resolution
Right,
tonight.
right. So I didn't know if if the Whitener Company was just asking for an open-ended extension or if they had a date in mind.
Really, I think I think we sent you a notice that our position is, as long as the lease is we're holding up our end of the bargain on the lease, that we have the option.
I understand.
That's the way the contract is written, and that's certainly the way we interpret it, and we can't find any language that says anything other than that. So that's our position, but I can come back to you with a more firm date if that's something that's requested, so.
Understood.
Okay, that's all the citizens' input that had signed in, and appreciate y'all that spoke, this afternoon. Okay, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, October 23rd, 2023.
Yes. Mayor Harris, I've reviewed the minutes from the last regular meeting and believe they should be accepted.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Have a motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. You can choose which one you want to say. Eric, okay, all those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, ordinance on second reading. This is an ordinance to repeal the existing sewer disposal ordinance and adopt wastewater regulations. This is,
Motion to approve.
okay, have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Cardwell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Yes.
Councilmember Newman,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, motion carries. Then we have a resolution.
First read.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's from first reading, the amending the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amendments listed here that City Recorder Huskin has listed. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Newman, Councilmember Webb,
Aye.
Mayor Harris,
Aye. So we'll set a 6:25,
on December 18th, please.
December 18th.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, resolution is the resolution to approve an addendum to the purchase agreement with the Whitener Company LLC, the Historic Loudon Theater, to extend the closing date. As we know, this was approved originally on August the 28th to set a closing date of September the 29th. The purchaser had the option to extend the closing date, was exercised on the 25th to extend the closing date to October 30th. That did not, on October 25th, the purchaser requested that they have an additional extension of the closing date. And so this request, as we talked about, was for the purchaser to ask council to extend the closing date set forth in the contract that was approved in August. So I'll ask, what is the pleasure of council considering this resolution? Is there a motion?
I guess I'd like to have a little clarity. What exactly are we, so are we motioning to extend, give another 30-day extension?
They haven't asked for a time frame, so that's what Attorney Fry was requesting.
Right.
Gotcha.
So basically, we're requesting, and their position is they feel like as long as they're under their current lease, they have that option.
So are we, I guess that leads to, so if we are not extending this, it would, are we essentially taking the property from the Whitner Group?
No, they have a lease that would continue to August 2024, and then they have another extension after that to continue leasing it,
Gotcha.
But that continuance has to be mutually agreed upon.
mutually consent.
Yes.
So,
And you've heard,
Attorney
the
Fry.
position of the Whitener Group is that the council should extend this closing date up until August 1st, 2024, or if they do not, then they would be entitled to exercise the purchase option again, and it would come back before you in the form of a new purchase agreement similar to the one that you approved in August that would set a new closing date. That is the position of the Whitener Company.
So back what we're asking here, what we've been asked to approve here is an extension of the option to purchase.
So they have to August 24th, as of right now.
That's what the Whitener Company believes.
Because that's the current lease they're under. It will, so if this is, I'm assuming if this is not approved, they would just continue leasing monthly lease until August of 2024.
And at that point,
They could ask for an extension to
Right.
2025.
but is it our position that we believe that at that point they cannot exercise an option to pay or to buy at that point?
That's not the request before council at this point.
Gotcha.
The request is to extend the purchase agreement that was approved in August.
Gotcha, okay.
And as I said, there was a date in there. It was approved on August 28th with a closing date of September 29th. And then in that option to purchase, it said could be extended 30 days. And that was extended to the 29th of October. And it didn't close.
So at this point, we don't have an exact date that we're asking to extend this. Do you guys, I mean, I guess he kind of asked,
I guess, I don't know protocol, so I'm sitting in the chair not saying anything because I didn't know if past citizens input, if I'm allowed to say.
Sure, yes, yeah.
Am I allowed to say?
Yes, sir.
So I think, you know, our position, and I'm not really sure, Chris, how to address this, is that it never had to be voted on in the first place, the purchase agreement. I mean, the original agreement that was signed 2 years ago or whenever it was,
2020.
gave us the opportunity to, as long as we were in the lease, it gave us the opportunity to buy the building. Didn't say anything about having to come back before, so whatever vote you took, when I wasn't here the last time, our position is it shouldn't even have had to, you know, come to that. That's just, it wasn't in the contract, so that was outside of the contract. So our position, you know, if you would like, I can modify that based on Chris's permission and say, yeah, we'll close it before, you know, August of 24, if that fits with everybody's permission. That was our plan anyway. But I also want to make sure that everybody understands that what we signed originally and what we entered into, and some of you weren't here and didn't approve it, didn't require it to come in even back to a vote. It was, we could buy it any time that we were current.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't before August 1st of, you know,
Yeah,
because
we had
some
that's right.
constraints.
We had a time frame that we
Yeah.
couldn't buy it
Right.
because of a grant. There was
Yes.
a grant that had to expire,
Right.
and so we had to wait until that, and that was this past August.
Right.
And so we just now are able to actually do this. So
Yeah, that tourism grant required us to maintain ownership for 5 years, and that expired August of 2023.
and that was part of the problem. There were many problems with this whole thing initially, which is why it came to us, is that was one. No one could buy it at the time because of this grant, and so would somebody come in and take it over and help, you know, caretake it until it got to a position to where it could be bought.
Someone had to assume the lease.
Right.
So-
At that point, we couldn't sell the property. Or if we sold it, we'd have to pay back the grant.
So Chris, if it helps with your resolution, I can say yes, but if you want to put a date on it, we could say extend it until that date, and we'll close it before then.
So there's a proposed resolution in your packet that had a blank for the new closing date, and I understand that Mr. Whitener is asking that blank be replaced with August 1st, 2024.
On or before.
Or before.
And Chris, do you know why we did the option to purchase agreement in August of 2023? Was that required, or was that?
Yes, because just because you have an option doesn't mean that you're going to exercise that option. So for once the exercise of the option, we received notice of the exercise of the option, the council had to reduce that to a purchase agreement.
Okay. So that procedure was correct in what we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Are people aware why that didn't move forward? Was that ever discussed about the potential buyers that reneged? I mean, is that important information to have?
Probably not. And Mitch has to be recognized.
Okay. Yes, Mitch.
Is it not correct that, at this point, if they're not ready to exercise in the very near future, the Whitener Group could just ask again between now and when they finish the lease, even if you give them the option to extend the lease another year, they could come and just ask for a new purchase agreement at the time they're actually ready to close?
Chris?
That's what I said in response to Mr. or Councilmember Newman's question earlier, that the request right now is to extend the current purchase agreement that was approved on August 28th. I don't have a request for
Another day.
another date.
Well, my question is slightly different, just very slightly. What is wrong with saying to Mr. Whitener, when you're ready to close, come back and ask for another purchase agreement? Right? I mean, if it requires a purchase agreement to authorize the maker to close, then just at that time when you want to close, just ask for another purchase agreement. Is that not?
I mean, I
My
guess you could,
simple answer is, why do it all over again? If you
Yeah.
want a date, I gave you a date. If you want a different date, ask me, but I mean, I'd like to not have to drag myself in here and or you and do this again, so I don't see the point. We entered into an agreement, we've held up our end of the bargain, we expect city to hold their end of the bargain. I mean,
And very importantly, I think it's key to mention, we've kept operations going even after the issue with the state closing the former tenant down, and I've continued renovations on the property and improvements on the property all during that process, so.
I mean, that's
there's
important. Yeah.
tons of unpleasant history here that I doubt we need to get into, but I think the most important thing is we did what we said we would do, and we plan on doing the last part of it, so.
Chris, what's your opinion? So, I mean, he's saying their attorney has given them an opinion of what the lease says. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that. I believe that the reason that the purchase and sale agreement set a closing date is because that was necessary. And when the purchaser did not fulfill the terms of that contract, that they are in default of that purchase agreement. I believe that it's up to the council to decide if they want to excuse that default and proceed with the contract that was approved in August, or if they will require the Whitener Group to make a request in the future if they believe that they have the right to exercise this option at any time.
And I'm just, again, I'll reiterate, I don't see that language anywhere. So that's to me is a extremely broad interpretation, but I don't see, if the language was there, I'd ask somebody, give it to me, so.
I guess I don't have the contract in front of me, but if we did not extend this closing date, again, without looking at the contract, I'm just assuming basically, but would they not be able to come back at the end of that next year and either re-up for another lease or exercise the option to purchase? We're saying it's not in the contract that they would be able to come back and re-exercise that
Right, so the lease is silent on what happens when someone exercises the option to purchase, enters into a new contract for that purchase, and then fails to perform the obligations of that contract. Is there no penalty for breaching that contract, or is it just you get a do-over?
And that's within council's power to decide. So that's basically the decision. Any other questions or clarifications? It will take a motion in a second that I'll be asking for. So is there a motion to extend the closing date until August of 2024?
I think for the sake of the city not being in a landlord situation and for continuing operations, I would take a motion to extend.
Okay, we have a motion to extend the option to purchase until August of 2024. Do I have a second? Okay, let's again, do I have a second to the motion made by Council Member Newman to extend the lease, the option to purchase to August
This
of
is
2024?
to extend the closing date on the existing purchase agreement.
The closing date to the original, okay, to August of 2024. Basically, that's what we're voting to do, is extend the closing date on the option to purchase. Is there a second? If not a second, we can't vote on it. So, motion fails because of lack of a second. Okay. Next item is adopting the strategic plan. You got the strategic plan.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the strategic plan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item is a resolution to allow purchase of service loss during the required probationary period for employees of the political subdivision participating in TCRS according to the Tennessee Code Annotated Title 8, Chapters 34 through 37.
Make a motion.
Do I have a motion to approve and have a second? Councilmember Cardwell, to approve this TCRS probationary period buyback. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is approving the City of Loudon Section 125 cafeteria plan for employees.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is authorizing a contract with ClearGov for budgeting and strategic planning software services.
motion to approve.
So we have a motion to approve and a second by Councilmember Cardwell to approve this ClearGov for budgeting software and strategic planning. Any questions?
Just comment, the utility board did approve tonight to pay for their half of this.
Okay, so this will be shared 50-50. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is authorizing participation in the North Carolina Sheriff's Association Technology Procurement Program. Discussed this at the workshop.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? This will be 3 different resolutions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is participation in the North Carolina Sheriff's Association Fire EMS Law Enforcement Specialty Vehicle Procurement Program.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
A motion, to have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next one is authorizing participation in the North Carolina Sheriff's Association for Heavy Equipment Procurement Program.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Do I have any discussion, any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is authorizing fire department equipment to be considered surplus. This is on the broken air compressor.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion to approve and second to surplus this air compressor. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 10, authorizing two 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 trucks to be considered surplus.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any questions? Comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next one is authorizing the purchase of one 2023 Ford Police Interceptor all-wheel drive SUV.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. This was in the budget, correct?
Yes.
Okay, any questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, authorizing the purchase of police equipment. This is for the 9 Exxon body cameras and 5 tasers.
motion to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Mayor Dixon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Newman. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wow, we got the police and fire took care of our. Okay, approving tournament contract agreements. Facility Maintenance Director Harold recommends a revised tournament contract that includes an increase in field rental fees and renters to provide liability insurance to safeguard taxpayer dollars. Attorney Fry.
motion to that.
Okay, have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second, and as I was gonna say, Attorney Fry supplied some extra language to that I think helped, so. Any questions?
It seemed like Mark kind of slung this right here in the middle of all these other things, so.
Always on the roll?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did what?
yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, authorizing engineering services for proposed sidewalk improvement on Highway 11.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? Any clarification, discussion, questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No? Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Non-voting matters. Fuel bid, the low bid for the purchase of fuel was received from Rogers Petroleum for the projected amount of $22,927. And you can see the breakdown of each grade. That's for your information. The low deliverable bid for the purchase of fuel received for November for Valley Oil Company, and that's projected amount of $22,700. First one was $22,927. Next one is notification to civilian governing body and local community. This is the Loudon Police Department passed inspection from the Department of Defense and State Law Enforcement Support Office pursuant to EO 14074, Section 12. The attached memo fulfills the requirement to notify the civilians and local community of the Loudon Police Department's possession of a future intent to request controlled property items identified in the list. Chief Rebecca, have anything to add to that?
We have to check this box. Chief Webb's well aware of this program.
Just notification to the public.
Yeah, so it's a Department of Defense program ran by the state. It's a law enforcement support offices. They offer, I think in the past, we've had some other vehicles and stuff, but now we only have 4 rifles. Police have to notify the governing body, and we also had to post it in our police station for 30 days.
Is the memo included in our packet?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, the very last 2
Very last
pages.
This is what used to be called LISO,
Okay.
It's still called LISO.
surplus military equipment. The police departments and only the police departments could get that equipment.
Okay.
And we had a state audit about 30 days ago. We passed all that.
I mean, Director Brubaker's gonna give him a Humvee now,
No,
like the sheriff has.
We had them and gave them back.
Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions about that? Okay. All right, last thing is we want to thank those that helped with our Looking Good Loudon. And have to say, Eric, Councilmember Newman, your entryway to your subdivision got cleaned up without your presence.
All right. Go back and throw my bottles out there.
We looked and looked for you, and we went ahead and cleaned that
That's a smart move. You got it on the agenda.
That's right.
But we did have great participation. We did wind up collecting 68 bags. I'll report all that to Keep Tennessee Beautiful. They'll compile that to the whole number of bags collected in the month of November for their No Trash November calculation. So we did have a good turnout with civic groups and appreciate all those that helped. And I know Saturdays are busy times and things come up, so just pulling the leg a little bit there. Do want to mention a couple other things. The Christmas dinner, again, is on December 13th. Don't forget that at the Masonic Lodge. And I do need to just inform the council of one appointment I've made. Manager Ross was an ex officio on the Chamber of Commerce, and to replace him, Ryan Moore, who is Director of Finance for LUB, has elected to serve in that role. So it doesn't take a vote or anything like that. It's just basically information for only pass it on to you guys. Department reports. Chief Brubeck, you have anything?
Oh, yeah, I want to just apologize for the heavy agenda this month. I try not to do that. But also thanks for listening to Megan because they worked, I'll say tirelessly to help me prepare that for you all. So I get sorry for the heavy agenda, but trying to do it like that.
Never apologize for making us work.
It just all fell good. All fell.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, the timing of some of this stuff just happened to be this month. Okay, city, civil engineer, Hogan, you have anything?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mark,
Everybody's got emails?
you can have his time.
Just to remind you guys, watch your emails. We'll start sending you some information about the Christmas activities, which begin this Friday. We have the tree decorated by the kindergarten classes, starts at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Well attended by city officials, police, fire, health, and utilities. So just make sure you check your emails. We'll be sending that out for reminders. And on the 8th, we have Christmas in the park. December 9th, we have the Christmas parade. And December 19th, we have a visit with Santa, which will be pretty much all day where kids can come and visit with Santa.
Okay. Busy time.
A lot of times people say they don't see that, it's watching the weekend.
And I guess it goes without saying, the antique fire truck will not be in the Christmas parade.
Mark couldn't get it fixed.
It is officially retired.
Not even on the downhill, Mark.
No.
What's
So,
the date of the parade again, please?
December 9th?
December 9th?
Yeah.
And if any of you gentlemen would like to ride in the parade, they'll find you other vehicles.
Yeah, the fire truck's not crowded, you just gotta climb up on top, you know.
I'm driving a Mini in it, so if anybody thinks they can get in it.
Okay, council member reports. Councilmember Newman, have anything from Recreation Advisory?
Not this time, no.
Okay. All right, Vice Mayor Dixon from Planning Commission.
Yeah, we had a meeting on November the 1st at 12:30. We had an applicant, preliminary plat, Tennessee National. That was approved. That was their final plat for this request. And then they had another applicant, number 40, from 1200 Center Park Drive, applicant David Bashburn, Cornerstone Steel. That was also approved by the Planning Commission. And then we had a preliminary, final approval of subdivision plat, rest of the Oak at Sparrow Valley River Road and Matlock Beach. That applicant and property owner CHM Homes, that was denied from the, no, that was approved. That was a $20,000 square foot building, zone M2. That was approved. And then another applicant, number 42, request for annexation. Applicant David Barnett, property owner, Dry Valley Realty, that was denied.
Okay, anything else from,
That's all.
okay. All right, Councilmember Cardwell.
Yes, the Loudon Utilities met today at 4:30, had a pretty full agenda, so bear with me. We also authorized the ClearGov and for budgeting and strategic plans. We also adopted the strategic plan for the utility. We amended water meter rates to add a minimum bill for 8, 10, and 12-inch meters. We changed the pay classification within the electric department, changed the system engineer to an operation technology engineer. We authorized a master service agreement with Bill Watkins to be able to bring him back to do engineering work for specific projects. We authorized professional services for True North Geographic Technologies. We authorized professional services with LJA Engineering. Actually, there were 2 contracts with them, and that was to do smoke testing, CCTV, and different assessments on the sewer. We accepted an asset management plan grant of $250,000 for water infrastructure grant. We authorized a change order for barge design for the wastewater treatment assessment. We approved the 125 cafeteria plan, and we established national gas rates at 114 per 100 cubic feet. Also, the Historic Preservation Advisory Committee will meet tomorrow, 6:30, here in the conference room, and that will be our last meeting for the year. And then we'll crank back up in January, and once we get those dates, we'll get them to you, Megan, for publication.
I want to thank Councilmember Carville for giving we can't all come to the utility board meeting, but I think it's important that y'all know what they're doing as well. And matter of fact, case in point is there, if you saw Bill Watkins out working, you'd think, well, I thought he retired, you know? But we're contracting with him to help with some of the projects. So I think it's good that you at least know, I mean, you're welcome to come to the utility board meeting if your schedule allows it, but at least this way you know what action they took in that meeting, even though, like I say, it was a heavy agenda, but
in record time, from what I heard.
it is in record time, yes.
If it wasn't for Bart, we could have been.
Councilmember Webb, you have anything from historic zoning?
No, sir, we didn't have any business this month, and so we didn't have a meeting.
Okay, all right. Just some closing comments we have some anniversaries as we recognized. In just a minute, we had Chief Brubaker and Anthony Garner, Fire and Police, and the Coast Department, 25 years, and we recognize them for their service. Brandon Hill, Facilities and Maintenance, he's 9 years. Trey Clemmer, Police Department, 4 years. Bobby Bingham, 2 years in IT. And with the utilities, we had Jason Brown, Support Services, 27 years. We thank Jason. David Garner, Customer Service, 22 years. And Bill Collis, Wastewater Treatment Plant, 3 years. So I want to thank them for their committed service to the utilities and the city. I think we have some birthdays as well.
We did the month of November. In administration, we had Paul Fritz, Steve Fritz, November 28th. Emily Green, November the 7th. Rachel Green, November the 16th. Miranda Phillips, November 26th. Got her on here twice. She had 2 birthdays. In the police department, we had Trey Clemmer, November the 3rd. Joel Martin, November the 11th. In the fire department, we had Michael Brubaker, November the 4th. And Mark Harvey, November 17th. In the public works department, we had Sean Bivens, November 23rd. Kenny Guider, November 30th, and Gabe Hampton, November 29th. In the recreation department, we had Stephanie Charette, November 3rd. And the electric department, we had Brody Houston, November 6th. In the water treatment department, Charles Beatty, November 19th. In the water plant, Jason Branham, November 21st. Matthew Talent, November 20th. Anthony Thompson, November 22nd. And board member Don T. Campbell, November the 29th. And Tim Dixon, November 19th.
Who?
Oh,
He's a
I
new
missed
one.
that one.
He's new.
Congratulate all those on their
He's
birthdays.
49, isn't he?
Yeah,
49.
all right,
So take it.
closing comments. Eric, any closing comments you got?
No, thank you.
Okay, Vice Mayor Dixon,
I do not.
Councilman Butler, Councilman Webb, Chris, you have anything?
I'd just like to update the council on the manager search.
Okay.
The active recruitment phase is underway. It is scheduled to end on December 22nd. After that, we will receive the first report on how successful the recruitment was. And then the first public meeting where we will be discussing those candidates will be your January workshop on January 8th. After that time, you will have an opportunity to conduct individual video conferences with any of the candidates that you choose to meet with, all working towards the goal of selecting finalists on January 29th at a special called meeting to be held jointly with the utility board at 5 p.m. And then
What day?
January 29th.
Yeah, it'll be a special called meeting.
And then the goal would be to have the final interviews the night of your February workshop, and then a special called meeting the following evening to extend an offer of employment to the chosen candidate. So that schedule is subject to change, but that's the plan as of right now. And I will distribute that to you all. Just wanted to give you a heads up about some of those dates in early 2024.
And we have to publicize those dates, so now is a good time to publish the whole schedule, which includes those dates. We publish the schedule for the whole year as far as our meetings, and we can go ahead and include those special call meetings in that posting, so.
It's just,
Any,
there's been a lot on the agendas lately, and we feel like this manager recruitment might need some nights where that's the only thing on the agenda. So
Just a couple of clarifications. So you're gonna send us out that timetable that you just
yes,
mentioned? The next thing is, earlier you mentioned at the utility meeting about, one is we have the first deadline is the 22nd of December to have so many candidates in.
right, but
I just want to make sure that our expectations, and talking with Dave, that we want to make sure that we get enough applicants to be able to do a quality search. So if the applicant pool isn't big enough to fit that quality, we may have to extend it to get it in. But, so it's not just the number, it's also, did we get a good broad section to hit our quality standards we're looking?
Right.
And then the last was, did we ever decide on how we're going to weed down from, let's say we get 30 down to that next number? How are you gonna do that, and who's gonna do that?
so you will receive a report 1 and report 2 before the first meeting at which you will be deliberating on these candidates. So the report 1 will have the breakdown of all the applications that were received, how many of those were rated qualified versus not qualified by the consultant, and they will further evaluate those candidates between reports 1 and report 2 before the public meeting on January 8th.
So everybody here gets a look to say,
Yes.
this was the whole pool, these are the recommendations. So if
Yeah.
there's that one person that we're just like, they gotta be in the pool, that's our chance, or we can say, Dave looks great, we'll now proceed to that, okay.
yeah, they're kind of shaded dark green,
Light green,
light green, and
yellow,
Yeah.
and red.
Yeah.
Yellow was, maybe. Green was, light green was, possibly, and the dark green was highly
No,
recommended.
and that's, I mean, that's what we're paying him to do. So
Yes,
that-
right.
That's fine. Okay.
And as Chris said, then, before they do a deep dive into a background check,
They want us to narrow it down just so they're
Yes.
not searching
yes.
40 people that we know we're not gonna pick.
Right, so before they
Right, so
spend
that will
money
be,
and
that will
effort.
be the purpose of the meeting on January 8th, would be to make that into a manageable list that can then be targeted for either further interviews, background checks, things
Yeah,
like that.
and from January 8th until the 29th, if any council member of those, we're just saying 6, 8, whatever that number is, you would like to interview that person on Zoom or, then we could set that up. So you would have an opportunity to individually interview that person, that candidate. Council would just need to let Attorney Fry know, I'd like to have a talk with this applicant. Then we could set that up through
It
Dave.
can all be on one?
Huh?
It can all, we.
Oh, no, you can do as many as you.
Yeah,
many
we
as you
can't
want.
do it,
And I-
You only get
we
one.
can't do it as a group.
Right.
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 And
Yeah.
the
Unless
idea,
it's a
the
meeting.
idea
Yeah, unless
is
it's a
that,
meeting.
that we'll walk out of here on the night of January 8th with a much better idea than what we'll get from paper.
Yeah.
But I guess my question was that if Councilman Carter wants to interview 20 of them, he can.
Oh, yeah, he sure can, yeah.
Okay.
As long as you're there with them.
We,
No, I can't be.
well, that's right, and see, with Tennessee,
Special call, not even.
Dave is learning and has learned that Tennessee's laws are a lot stricter as far as.
Much more open, more transparent.
Yes. Well, the laws for open meetings are tighter, so you can do individually, as many as you want, we just can't do it as a group, Okay, thank you, Chris. Any other questions about that update? Okay, Melissa, you have anything to add?
I'd like to thank council for the approval of the ClearGov software. I appreciate that. And I'd also like to thank Mayor Harris and the department heads for their leadership during this time of transition. This is the longest agenda that I've been involved in assembling, and you all have really helped it make it seamless for us, so thank you.
Thank you. It's a team effort, that's for sure. It's a team effort. Okay, if all minds are clear, this meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all for coming.
7:22.
Yeah, I have to. Oh, you need cardinal?
No, I want, right.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, go back.